Hey, Luke here with the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, and welcome to the interior of Alaska. For the next 3 days, I'm fishing, hunting, camping, foraging, and eating what I find.
Luke Nichols, the face of Outdoor Boys, stepped away from fame seeking peace, but a sudden family crisis pulled him back into the spotlight. Behind the cameras, the wilderness adventures, and millions of fans lies a story of love, sacrifice, and unimaginable struggles. What he endured off-screen changed everything, and the truth of his journey will break your heart. A surprising return under a different banner. People like Luke Nichols because he has always lived life on his own terms. He is known for his courage, his love for adventure, and the honesty he brings to every video. Fans admired him not just for his survival skills, but for the way he respected the wilderness and shared it with them in a way that felt real and raw. His absence left a quiet space online, one that many had assumed would never be filled again. Then, on November 15th, 2025, Luke appeared unexpectedly, not on his own channel, but on a friend's channel called My Life Outdoors. The surprise was immediate, but the reason behind it was even more powerful. He filmed a full outdoors-style video in the brutal Alaskan wilderness. Without a tent or a sleeping bag, he battled snowstorms and freezing winds, turning the video into a raw survival experience. Every moment was challenging, yet Luke's focus remained on helping Stephen's family. The ad revenue from the video would go directly to them, a deliberate act of kindness rather than self-interest. Choosing to upload on My Life Outdoors instead of his own channel ensured that support went straight to those in need. Throughout the video, Luke encouraged viewers to help Stephen's channel and put the spotlight on the family's struggles. The gesture was about lifting someone else, not reclaiming attention or rekindling his own fame. Yet, returning to the camera stirred old conflicts within Luke. He had spent years protecting his family from public exposure, cherishing privacy and peace. Filming and posting online again risked reopening those pressures. He had to balance the thrill of adventure, the satisfaction of helping someone, and the responsibility to keep his own loved ones safe. The surprise of seeing Luke on screen was striking, but the reason for his return was far more heartbreaking than anyone could have guessed. The family crisis that shaped the return. Stephen Smith, the creator of My Life Outdoors, was forced to pause content creation after his wife was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. With 4 young children to care for, bills piling up, and income uncertain, the pressure on Stephen was immense. Friends and fans alike noticed the strain, and quiet pleas for help reached those who understood the demands of being a content creator. Luke and Stephen had known each other for nearly a decade. Their friendship had begun through shared outdoor adventures and collaborations years earlier, bonding over a mutual respect for the wilderness and a love of filming raw, authentic survival experiences. Over time, their connection grew beyond work and into genuine trust and understanding. So when Stephen faced this crisis, Luke knew he could step in and make a difference. Having stepped away from YouTube years earlier, Luke's decision had been guided by the need to protect his own family. His wife and 3 sons had been his priority, and constant public scrutiny had made normal life nearly impossible. Yet this time, the reason was clear. Luke's return was not about growth, revenue, or regaining fame. It was about helping another family in a moment of dire need. He saw a chance to lift the weight off Stephen's shoulders, to provide both support and hope in the midst of chaos. The contrast was stark, stepping back from his own channel to protect his family, while stepping into the spotlight for someone else's well-being. The choice revealed what Luke valued most: compassion, solidarity, and courage that went beyond personal gain. He willingly faced the risks of public attention and the harsh Alaskan environment because he knew the reward was meaningful. As Luke pressed record for the survival-style video, the storm outside raged with snow and biting wind. Each step into the wilderness was a battle against nature. But even more powerful than the blizzard was the storm within him. For years, he had hidden doubts, regrets, and the fears of losing his private life. Those emotions, long buried, resurfaced as he balanced the thrill of adventure with the responsibility of helping another family. His sudden return raised long-buried questions about why he went silent in the first place. Between 2015 and 2025, Outdoor Boys became one of the most watched adventure channels on YouTube. Luke started small, filming short clips of wilderness survival challenges, fishing trips, and camping expeditions near his hometown. His early videos showed him navigating rivers, setting up camps with minimal gear, and demonstrating basic survival techniques, all with a straightforward, hands-on style. He often added practical tips for viewers, like how to build a fire in wet conditions or make a shelter from natural materials. The channel grew steadily because Luke combined entertainment with education. Fans were drawn to the authenticity of his content. Unlike many creators who relied on staged stunts, Luke filmed real experiences in real environments. He documented entire trips, sometimes lasting several days, showing both successes and failures. If a fishing trip failed or a storm ruined a campsite, he included that footage, making the videos relatable and genuine. Luke also shared moments with his family, showing his 3 sons learning outdoor skills, which added a human touch and a sense of warmth to his channel. As the channel gained traction, Luke experimented with more ambitious projects. He filmed extended survival challenges in remote forests, snow-covered mountains, and along rugged coastlines. These videos included navigation without GPS, sourcing food from nature, and constructing shelters from scratch. He would narrate his thought process, explaining why he made certain decisions, which created an immersive experience for viewers. Collaborations with other outdoor enthusiasts, occasional wildlife encounters, and demonstrations of extreme weather survival techniques helped the channel reach a wider audience. The popularity exploded at one point, gaining 12 million subscribers in just 18 months. Fans weren't just watching, they were following his life. Street recognition became common, and strangers often approached him and his family, asking for photos or advice. The success of Outdoor Boys demanded constant content production. Luke was filming, editing, and posting videos almost daily, balancing long expeditions with family life. Eventually, the constant public attention took its toll. Luke realized that while the channel thrived, it was encroaching on his family's privacy and normal life. The rapid growth had turned everyday outings into potential public events, and even routine moments at home could feel exposed. Fame had given him financial security and influence, but it had also made personal life impossible to protect. As the channel's success grew, the question became clear. Surviving in the wild was no longer the main challenge. The real test was protecting his family from the unintended consequences of fame, which ultimately led him to make the hardest decision of his life. A brief respite and lingering shadows. On May 17, 2025, Luke Nichols posted a farewell video titled "Goodbye," announcing he would step away from Outdoor Boys, at least indefinitely. In the video, he spoke directly to his fans with calm honesty, explaining that after more than a decade of adventures, the constant attention and public scrutiny were taking a toll on his family. Luke is married to his wife, Rebecca Nichols, and together they have 3 sons, Tommy, Nate, and Jacob. The family had been part of nearly every video, participating in camping trips, bushcraft challenges, fishing expeditions, and homestead projects, often sharing their daily lives with millions of viewers. After the farewell video, Luke and his family withdrew from the public eye. For the first time in years, the Nichols family could move through daily life without being watched, photographed, or approached by strangers. Luke hinted at multiple half-finished projects, wilderness trips, homestead constructions, survival challenges, and other adventures that had never been edited or published. He mentioned he might release them in one big dump someday, leaving fans wondering what stories and memories were still locked away. Silence replaced the constant click of cameras. His son spent more time learning practical skills at home and exploring nature without the pressure of being on screen. The family sought normalcy, free from the expectations of views, comments, and public attention. Yet inside, Luke wrestled with unfinished plans, memories of past adventures, and a restless creative urge. The pause was necessary, but it did not erase his passion for the outdoors or for storytelling. Over 11 years of content creation, including the early catfish and carp phase, Luke had produced over 1,110 videos, a massive catalog spanning homesteading, survival, fishing, camping, and intimate family experiences. In his farewell, he acknowledged that the channel had provided for his family and created countless memories. Yet, even good things, he realized, could be taken too far. Time, energy, and relentless attention had begun compromising the privacy and safety of his loved ones. Luke expressed a desire to focus on his family, especially his children, giving them a chance at a quieter, more private life. The goodbye video ended with a fading montage of family moments, laughter around firelit cookouts, snowy cabins, rugged wilderness landscapes, and quiet moments of togetherness. It felt less like a pause and more like the closing of a chapter that had once defined them. But even in retreat, the story was not fully over. Stored on his hard drives were countless hours of footage, braving snowstorms, building shelters, catching fish, and capturing the intimate, everyday moments of family life. All frozen in time, waiting for the day Luke decides whether these memories are enough to live quietly, or if the world still needs to see what kind of person he is. Roots in Alaska. Luke Nichols was born in 1978 in Anchorage, Alaska, a place where wilderness was not a backdrop, but a way of life. From a very young age, he was immersed in the outdoors. Fishing in icy rivers, camping under towering pines, and hunting in the vast, rugged terrain became second nature. These experiences taught him more than just survival skills. They instilled a deep respect for nature, a sense of self-reliance, and comfort with solitude in remote landscapes. Growing up in Alaska shaped Luke's worldview in profound ways. He learned to adapt, to plan ahead, and to face challenges head-on. The mountains, forests, and rivers were his classroom, teaching lessons about patience, resilience, and the balance between risk and reward. Every outing strengthened his connection to the land and honed the instincts that would later define his career as an outdoors creator. Faith also played an important role in shaping Luke's values. As a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, he was guided by principles of family, community, service, and simplicity. These beliefs influenced his decisions throughout life, from how he raised his own children to the way he approached challenges in his career. The combination of a wilderness upbringing and a values-driven framework gave Luke a foundation built on discipline, integrity, and responsibility. After high school, Luke embarked on a mission abroad in Japan. This experience took him far from the forests and rivers of Alaska, exposing him to a very different culture and way of life. The mission added discipline and broadened his perspective, teaching him lessons in patience, empathy, and adaptability. It was a time of growth that complemented his rugged upbringing, preparing him for challenges that extended far beyond the wilderness. These formative years forged Luke into someone uniquely equipped for the life he would later lead, balancing adventure, family, and public attention. Yet even as the Alaskan wilderness shaped his mind and body, the world beyond posed questions that no river or mountain could answer. How would a spirit honed in snow and pine fare when faced with fame, responsibility, and the pressures of modern life? The icy rivers and dense forests of Alaska had forged the soul of a young boy. But the larger world would soon test whether that wilderness-shaped spirit belonged only in the wild, or if it could thrive in a life exposed to millions of eyes. From law to lakes. After completing his mission in Japan and navigating his early adult years, Luke Nichols pursued higher education with a clear path in mind. He studied political science at Brigham Young University, then went on to earn a law degree from George Mason University. At this stage, Luke seemed set for a conventional professional career, one built on stability, respectability, and long-term planning. Following graduation, he practiced criminal defense law in Virginia for about a decade. His work included traffic and DUI defense cases, among other areas of criminal law. He even co-founded a law firm, establishing a career that, on paper, promised security and prestige. Life in the legal world was far removed from the forests, rivers, and snowy mountains of his Alaskan upbringing. His days were filled with courtrooms, legal documents, and client meetings, a stark contrast to the freedom of wilderness adventures he had loved as a child. Yet, despite this stability, the call of the outdoors never faded. Fishing trips, weekend camping excursions, and occasional wilderness adventures remained a part of his life, a constant reminder of a world he had left behind. The contrast between desk work and the open air was striking, and each adventure outside served as a reminder of a deeper passion that the legal career could never fully satisfy. This tension between a predictable, secure legal life and a restless love for the outdoors slowly became impossible to ignore. The skills, discipline, and focus Luke developed as a lawyer were valuable, but they could not replace the sense of authenticity, freedom, and purpose he found in nature. The pull of his childhood passions combined with his growing interest in sharing survival skills and outdoor experiences laid the groundwork for a pivotal shift. He began to imagine a life where he could align work with his true calling, creating content, exploring the wilderness, and connecting with an audience who shared his love for adventure. Ultimately, Luke faced a profound decision. Standing in a courtroom or beneath Alaska's northern sky, he felt the weight of two very different worlds. One offered predictability, respect, and a conventional path. The other offered risk, freedom, and the chance to pursue a lifelong passion. Choosing authenticity over convention meant stepping away from the career he had spent years building, but it was a choice that would define the next chapter of his life. In 2013, Luke Nichols, then a practicing attorney, started his first YouTube channel, Catfish and Carp, to share his love for fishing. What began as a simple hobby quickly became something mature. The channel gave him a new way to express creativity, connect with like-minded individuals, and share experiences that went beyond the courtroom. By 2015, Luke had outgrown Catfish and Carp and launched Outdoor Boys, a family-centered channel. This allowed him to include his wife and children, showing real adventures like camping, survival challenges, bushcraft, and outdoor trips. The response was overwhelming. Millions tuned in to watch authentic family moments combined with outdoor skill building. Thus, the tension between law and lakes marked the beginning of Luke's journey toward a life that merged adventure with purpose, a decision that would eventually lead to fame, challenges, legacy, healing, and the road ahead. Even after stepping away from continuous uploads, Luke Nichols' legacy remains remarkable. Over the years, Outdoor Boys surged in popularity. By 2025, the channel had around 15.3 million subscribers. Over more than a decade, he produced hundreds of videos showcasing survival skills, family-centered adventures, and lessons about nature, self-reliance, and simplicity. Fans remember him not just for his daring outdoor challenges, but for the way he made wilderness skills accessible, practical, and inspiring. His content left a lasting mark on viewers seeking adventure, knowledge, and connection with the natural world. Luke's brief return to help a friend in crisis added a new layer to that legacy. It reframed him not merely as a content creator, but as someone who values empathy and solidarity. By stepping back into the public eye for reasons other than clicks or revenue, he demonstrated that human connection and kindness can take precedence over fame. The act sent a clear message. His work was never just about views, but about supporting others, sharing experiences, and using his platform for meaningful impact. A backlog of unfinished content lingers on his hard drives. These include survival trips in extreme weather, homestead projects, and remote camping adventures. Each project represents hours of effort, creativity, and experience. A testament to the life he has led and the skills he has mastered. Yet Luke has made no commitment to release more than the 3 recent uploads. Whether this unseen footage will ever reach the public remains uncertain, leaving fans and followers to wonder if his outdoor legacy has more chapters yet to be shared. For his family, his wife and 3 sons, life away from the cameras may provide the healing, privacy, and normalcy that fame had long disrupted. Away from the constant scrutiny of online audiences, they can experience ordinary moments without intrusion. Luke has consistently prioritized this space for them, and stepping back allows him to guide his family's lives on his own terms. For Luke personally, this new chapter could mean living a quieter life where purpose and values take precedence over algorithms and audience expectations. It is a life guided by choice rather than obligation, where adventure is still possible, but no longer dictated by external pressures. His decisions now reflect lessons learned from a lifetime balancing wilderness, family, and fame. Luke's legacy is more than the videos he created. It is the example he sets of living authentically, protecting what matters most, and extending kindness in times of need. As the future unfolds, the question remains: will he preserve these memories privately, or will the world eventually see the final chapters of his extraordinary outdoor journey? What do you think about Luke Nichols' journey from attorney to YouTube star? Share your thoughts in the comments below.